Hi friends, it's Sarah, the owner and maker behind Multifarious Nature. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are a new viewer, welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. I'm glad you guys are here for another episode. So I'm feeling super cozy today. It is kind of cloudy and overcast, and we have kind of a mist. It's what I would imagine like the moors over in like Ireland when I don't know, I always think of Sherlock Holmes and the moors where it's like eerie and foggy, and that's basically what our day is like today. I am very cozy right now, though. I am wearing my, this is Melly Knits Advent, the wool from 2024. It's her True North Advent, and then I actually spun that up, and then I knitted it into a Fascination shawl by Ruby and Rose's yarn. So I have it tied, like wrapped around me and then tied in the back. Super cozy, super soft, beautiful different wool combinations, all from Canada. And yeah, really exciting. So nice and cozy. I hope you guys have something cozy to sip on or cool, depending on where you're at. I have some spiced apple cinnamon tea, which is definitely hitting the spot right now. All right, get my little timer going here. So how are you guys doing? I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what you're up to. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying healthy and making. As far as shop update, constantly working on the wool. I've been picking some of our Shetland fleeces that will be in the Michigan Fiber Festival this year. So I'm really excited about that. So I wanted to just show you an example of Shetland fleece if you're not as familiar with Shetlands. Yeah. So the long and short of it is Shetlands have really unique fleeces. They tend to be varied because they are a more primitive breed. So there's areas that are going to be more of a fine fleece with like really tight crimp. And then there's some where it's a looser, more wavy, soft-handled crimp. And then sometimes it gets to like the breech area where it's much more less crimpy, maybe a slight wave, definitely an even more durable wool. So it's amazing. And you can separate the fleece out and then use certain sections for different things. Or you just combine the whole thing and then you have a very versatile yarn. So I want to show you our Shanty's fleece. So Chanterelle is one of our Shetlands. She has a gray fleece. So this is gray. So this is from around near her front of her body. I hope you guys will be able to see that crimp. So it is a really nice, pretty uniformed crimp. Very lofty, super soft. So from around her face, neck area, that is the softest wool that you will get in a Shetland. So really beautiful. And you can see the little bits of black hairs in there. That's creating the gray. So she's cream and black, which gives the gray. Then you kind of start moving down her body, and then her body has more of this. So it's still crimped, but as you can see, it's not as tight of a crimp. It becomes more of this like wavy, still very soft, quite a beautiful shine to it. It's really beautiful wool. So this is the majority of her body. Will have this. And then you make your way to the rump area or, her breech wool. And that starts to look like this, which looks more like your primitive. You have more of the hairy, like the tog. I'm pretty sure the long is the tog, and the thell is this like the shorter, downier bits that are inside. So this is what you'll get a little more guard hairs in, but super durable. Again, it's still soft. It's definitely getting closer to Icelandic wool at that point. Again, another primitive. They are just fascinating. So that just gives you a little variety of what, oops, let me get my orientation here. Gives you a little bit of a look into how varied a Shetland fleece is. This is a darker gray here, a little bit more black in it, versus that's the front. And then the back is almost all white with very little black in it. So fascinating. Other fun fact about Chanterelle, Shanty, She is a Versiget, so she is a gray Shetland. Versiget has to do with her markings, so she actually has like random blotches of darker gray sections to her body, which is really cool. It tends to look very faded out, and she looks more of a like consistent gray from the outside. But when you shear her down, that's when you notice the areas that are a little bit more like have more black in them. It's really fascinating. As a baby, it was very obvious. She looked black with white splotches. So fascinating. The coloring of sheep, it's really interesting for Shetlands. And if you want to look into that more, the Fleece and Fiber Source book has a really good section in it. I love that book. There's, of course, you can look online. You can go to the Shetland, North American Shetland Sheep Breeders Association. I am part of that. But yeah, if you check out all of that, there's so much wonderful information about Shetlands. They are fascinating critters. And they sure are little characters as well. Hope you guys can hear me okay. All right. Yeah, so that's a little bit of what I'm working on. I've been really digging into Shanty's fleece here. Almost done with that as far as picking it, and then I need to weigh it and put it through the carder. So very excited to be doing that, and then I'll be doing Veiled Lady, and Amanita as well. Those girls all have their second fleece that I can process. It's been washed. They've all been washed. And there's still fleeces. I would still call them a lamb fleece. I think I can still call them a lamb fleece. It's not their first fleece, but it was shorn in the fall where they were just, I guess a few months over a year old. So I would think you could still call that a lamb fleece. For those of you that are more, have more wisdom in the sheep end of things, please do let me know if that's okay. I know Hogget is another fleece that people tend to talk about, so I don't know if it really falls under that or not, but I just feel like there's this gray area. All right, I'll get into the works in progress here. So I have been working away on the 2 projects that I've been working on for the past weeks. We are now not mid-row. I did complete my row. This is the Jaunty Shawl by Andrea Mowry of Dre Renee Knits. I am cruising in my Clun Forest section here. Super bouncy and soft. I absolutely love working with this fleece. It was a joy and a half to spin. Super pleasant to spin. And now putting it onto the shawl here, it's just such a joy. I love working with hand spun. I enjoy making it, of course, but actually spinning it up is even more of a joy. So this is my Multifarious Nature Advent from this past year. And then this is that beautiful colorway, A Hint of the Holidays by Laird the Llama. And I need to pop that little knot into the back because I didn't want it on the front. There we go. So yeah, just such a joy and a lot of fun. I wrapped this around me while I was knitting on it today, and it's been such a joy. It's so cozy. Because like I said, it's kind of a cozy, dreary day, but I'm actually very here for it today. And I've been enjoying it. So, as I said, I've got my cozy shawl on. It's been a lot of fun. I have a lot of projects that I want to work on and just trying to focus. I don't know if you guys run into this. Please do share in the comments if you do. I feel like I'm not the only one. I know it. I just have a very hard time sometimes. I pick out projects I want to do and I'm very content with them. But I just constantly keep thinking of other things I want to work on and other things I want to do. And sometimes I get to the point where I have a hard time even starting a project or doing something because I have all of this going on in my head that I want to get done. And I don't know if it's just this overload from the internet, like being online all the time. I just don't know. There's so much information. We have so much access to information constantly. It's a little overwhelming sometimes. I am trying really hard to allow myself a little bit of time each day doing different things, and that has helped. And doing like little online tutorials on different knitting skills and learning about those things, constantly trying to improve my own knowledge in the craft. That's been a lot of fun lately. So again, it probably doesn't help when it comes to the whole being, inspired to do certain things or wanting to do certain things. I'm probably making that worse for myself, but I just can't help it. I love learning about anything wool oriented. I am here for, and I'm very passionate about it. If you can't tell, if you question how passionate I am about it, come to our house and play with the sheep, and see the wool room, and see my I guess this is my wool room, and then I have my wool hut, and that has like all the wash wool that needs to still be like hand processed further. It's been washed, but it needs to be picked and carded and things like that. So I love it. I love it so much. And I love to talk about it. So if you guys ever have questions, or like you just want to talk about woolly things, definitely comment. Feel free to comment. I love hearing from you guys. All right, we'll talk about the next project, and that is my Flutterbutt shirt by Jessie Made Designs. Jessie Made Designs. There we go. I can say it. All right, I have been cruising. Okay, hilarious. I have to say this because I can't believe I did. Last video, I did talk about the fact that I do not read through patterns all the time. If I am test knitting, I for sure read through a pattern to see like what's going to happen, what's going on, because there's really not a lot of room for, I have to rip back entirely if you're test knitting. It's usually a very small window. So I really try to make sure I understand every aspect of a pattern before I start knitting it. This pattern, I talked about it last time, and I think I mentioned, I think I'm going to be seaming up the sides. That is totally incorrect. Without giving too much away on this pattern, because it is paid for, you are knitting the front and the back. That is true. That is correct. But this is the armhole. So this open area is going to be the armhole, and you're going to just have these very flowy, airy little sleeves on here. And then I thought to myself, my gosh, is that going to be super cropped? Like super cropped. I wasn't expecting that. Well, you pick up stitches around the bottom, and you're actually going to be knitting the ruffle bottom edge. So that's where I'm going to possibly make it longer. If I want to have a longer shirt, I will be making that ruffle longer if I choose to. I probably will, though, just to be completely transparent. I probably will knit that ruffle longer, but here's how it's looking so far. This is a one-of-a-kind colorway by Multifarious Nature, and like I said before, it reminds me of like English rose garden kind of feel to it. It's very beautiful, very ethereal. I really want to replicate this in some way, shape, or form, and I winged it on this colorway, so that'll be interesting. This is using a lace weight, believe it or not, and it is a merino silk blend. So pretty. Here, I'm going to get closer so you guys can really see it nicely. But I'm going to show you the fabric again, but up closer. I know I'm pretty bad about that sometimes, but this is what it looks like. It's super fun. Lots of fun speckling. Really soft and delicate colors. Some greens in there, a little bit of violet, and lots of fun mauvey pink colors. Yes, so that is just cruising along. I just finished doing the short row shaping for the front. So I have the back, the front, and I should probably look at the pattern and tell you what the next step's going to be, because I'm pretty bad about that. I think the sleeves are next. Yeah, I guess I'll be joining for the shoulders, then I'll work on the sleeves, and then there's the ruffle hem that you do. So really fun. And the sleeves are the ruffles. So I feel like this knits up really, really fast. This is a really fast knit for me. Maybe it isn't for everyone, but for me, this has been super fast. So I'm grateful, because that means I definitely will be able to wear it for Michigan Fiber Festival. And I think it will be light and, like I said, airy, flowy, comfortable with the warmer temperatures. And Yeah, I just think it's fascinating how that will work. Okay. Anyway, what else? As far as like life update end of things, goodness, so much going on. All I can think about is the sheep, honestly. Like, that's all I think about right now, and rightfully so. So we are in the end of, and we are in the early April. So we are out of March now, and it is definitely shearing season. So now I feel like this time of year, actually March. Once March hits, I start watching the calendar like a fiend, and the weather, because it's hard. April, there's a lot of rain. We get a lot of rain in April. It's probably like that in most areas, but here we definitely do. We're in Michigan. And, it can be hard for someone to shear their sheep. Our sheep live in a little hut, so they do have protection from the elements. However, during the day, they are out on their pasture. I open their hut. They go in there if they want. They come out if they want. So they get damp if it's misting or raining. If it's downpouring, they go in their hut. They're usually good about that. But that means they are wet and damp, and you cannot shear them unless they're dry. I shouldn't say you cannot. You should not. Safety-wise, you should not shear sheep when they are wet. Not only for their safety, but also for your own. A lot of things can happen, as you can imagine. Wetness causes slipping. That's a disaster when you're holding a sharp object. It is a really bad idea. So yes, I have to wait. And you also don't want it to be super hot outside, because that stresses out the animals. So it is tricky. Even at the end of April here, from the forecasts, which of course can change like the wind, I am seeing days that are reaching 80 degrees Fahrenheit, which that's actually very warm. I would not want to be shearing them in that temperature. So it is hard. Like that becomes, to me, with sheep, so far, when I think of all of the things that we do with them, I would say shearing is probably two things. One of the most enjoyable things, and also one of the most stressful things that we do with sheep. As you can imagine, you're holding a very sharp object. I do blade shearing, so I do the old-fashioned way, as they say, like nice and slow. It's quiet. It's more relaxing for me, and it's probably more relaxing for them as well. However, when they're scared, it's not relaxing for anybody. And our one lamb, midge, fly midge, she is very anxious about shearing. The first time, of course, because she had no idea. I really hope she'll be calmer this time around. This will be her second time, but she's just a spirited little critter, and she does not like to be forced to do things, and she's very wary. So I just really hope that it will go well and be calm for her, because last year we totally failed. We did it on a day that was way too warm. Like, we shouldn't have done it. But we really needed to do it. And the biggest thing that, at least my understanding with sheep, because they have a pecking order, you don't want to single out sheep. So if you can help it, you try not to shear one sheep and none other. You could try to at least shear 2 sheep a day if you're going to, just so that way they have a buddy that looks like them, that's shorn. So that's what we try our very hardest to do, is only or shear at least 2 a day. And that would be the goal. We have 5 sheep. So with that kind of number, of course, that means one day we have to shear 3, possibly. But we have a system to how we do it. And I always want to do like the most complicated one first. And in the past, we've also done the most complicated one last. And I don't really know if one's a better way than the other, but it is always interesting. I'm going to see if I'll see if my family watches this before I talk to them. That would be hilarious. But I'm going to see if I can wrangle my brother in on this, because I think he would enjoy it. It's a lot of hard work shearing. I enjoy it. But sometimes I don't have the more laborious end of things. Like, my husband Midge was jumping all over the place, like a bucking bronco. She's crazy. Last year, she literally was like a goat launching and trying to jump off of the stand. So it took a lot. Dan had to hold her in place like the entire time because she was fighting it. And that stressed me out because I have to go quickly because I didn't, it's hot. And obviously he's holding her the whole time and so strongly, like having to hold her. And that makes him tired. And so it's like, it was stressful all the way around. So if I could have an extra set of hands, that would be so helpful, just to have someone else to hold the sheep as well, instead of having Dan have to do it the entire time. He's very capable, but it's really hard on him to do that. And I think if we can share that load, that would be so helpful. And plus I think that, I mean, I don't know, I would think they seem fascinated about that. I'm gonna see if I can rope them in. I know my mom always enjoys learning about these things too, so maybe I can rope her in too, to help gather the wool and put them in bags during the shearing process. It's fascinating. For people that have large flocks of sheep, like we have, like I said, 5 head of sheep, where some people have hundreds of sheep. I mean, heck, even 20 sheep. That is a lot. Like, if you want to take that on yourself with the shears, I commend you. I am incredibly, the admiration is high because that is a lot of work. It is so much work. It's incredibly rewarding work, but it's a lot of work. And yeah, so I'm excited about it. I'm always excited. It's always exciting. I think if you ask any shepherd or shepherdess, it is always exciting when it's shearing time comes, because one, you get to see the fleece like in its full glory off of the sheep, which is always fun. But 2, you get to see the sheep, you get to see their body, and you get to see how they're doing. And that is always a good thing. And hopefully they're doing really well. But it's harder to tell when they've got that big fluffy fleece on them. So looking forward to it. All right. I do, of course, have so many ideas of patterns I want to work on. There's so many things, so little time. But I'm here for it and I'm excited. There's a cowl I really want to knit. It was a free pattern from one of the yarn stores that I follow. In their newsletter, they included a beautiful cowl pattern. It is a Fair Isle cowl, so it is a very easy 2-color patterning. Usually Fair Isle's 2 colors, my understanding, and the patterning is pretty consistent, like 2 to 3 stitches of a color between. So it's really fascinating, and it's a cowl, and I would love to use some of our hand spun, and I'd love to use our girls. However, I can only use 2 colors then if I want to do that traditional Fair Isle. We'll see, because I don't know how I would choose. I really want to use, of course, Midge, because she's got that beautiful black fleece, and then one of the other girls who has like more of the cream fleece, but we'll see. Like light gray, I guess, because they're light gray. Yes. Always fun. Always fun. All the making, all the creating, all the good stuff going on, the juices. Just exciting. And I hope you guys are feeling inspired. This time of year, I definitely do in springtime. We have our crocuses coming up, all the beautiful colors. Just celebrating my birthday. I will say that I did not do a birthday sale this year. I usually do, but I didn't. Primarily, there's multiple reasons, but primarily I'm not currently adding a lot of these bats onto the website as active listings. You might see them as coming soon, but they're not like active. And that's because I'm trying to get my inventory up for Michigan Fiber Festival. Anything left over, I will make active and then it will be on there. But I just didn't really want to do the sale when I haven't added much new inventory, at least on the website. And yeah, so sorry about that. I know that's something kind of fun. I know other makers that do that every year, and it was a big one. It was a big birthday. We're in life update end of things, so I have mixed emotions about this age, and maybe others can relate. It's very societal, but I did turn 40. I am 40 now, which is, your age is just a number, right? But societally, that it just was, I don't know, it was a hard birthday for me approaching it. Like last year, I had a lot of anxiety about turning 40. And I know that's not like, I don't know how to explain it. there's nothing against the age or anything. It's just, it's a big marker. It's a big milestone. And, it's always hard when we all have we have our ideas, we have our plans for how we hope our life goes and how we hope things are and like where we're at success wise, be it if you're a career driven person, if you are a family oriented person, like whatever your plans are. Obviously life does not always go according to plans. And yeah, it's just one of those things. So without getting too into detail about it, it was a hard one. We're still in the adoption process, which if you're not familiar with adoption and you've gotten this far, thank you for sticking around. And I'm not going to educate you on adoption. That is its own whole process. But I will say that I had no idea I really fully did not know the depth of what adoption's about, and I know I still don't because we haven't adopted someone yet. But the dynamics, the time of the waiting. It's not that I assumed things would just happen like this. It's not that I'm okay. It's not that I have an issue with the time that it's taken, because obviously everything will happen in the right timing. It's just, it's a long time. And I feel that pressure a bit more now than I did in the beginning. In the beginning, we're still grieving. We're constantly grieving, just because of the things that we have gone through. We'll always be grieving to an extent, but there are just different things that have occurred throughout the years that are now just mentally I can't with being super vague, but but that being said, there's just a lot that has gone on leading up to now, and we are 16 months in now. So yeah, that's a long time. Like when you think about it, that's a long time. And I know our agency said that the average time for adoptive families that are waiting, couples, it's usually 9 to 18 months. So that's a long time. And that's not that you would, it's not that I didn't think it would take a while. It's just, it's always blows my mind. And that's not even the longest. I've heard from other families, because I'm part of an adoptive waiting group and of moms. And there's a bunch of women that have, and I should say couples, that have been waiting almost 5 years, actively waiting for 5 years to be matched. Or, they may have been matched, things fell through. It's a whole nother world. I had no idea. So it's quite the process, and it can be a little overwhelming at times. So I think that's part of also what's going on with me. I'm a maker. I'm very creative, but that also really touches heavily on your passions, and passion and emotion, all are together. And so because I have all of this going on, it is a little overwhelming sometimes. It is, and I think it gets to me. So I'm trying to give myself grace. And if you're in that season, if you are in the season of waiting, be it to birth a child yourself, or to adopt or foster, whatever season you are in, it is, try to give yourself grace. Oh my gosh, it is so much. Sometimes it just feels like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. And thank goodness you're not doing it alone, but it does, sometimes you can feel that way. It really can. So it's, I think, part of the burden of being a woman. I think we carry a lot. So, yeah. But anyway, love you guys. I hope you are doing well, and I look forward to chatting with you soon. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and keep on making. Take care. Bye.